So a couple guys on the waiver wire today. One of them appears to be proving me wrong. Martin Marincin is on waivers for Toronto. I'm sure Leafs fans will be very broken up about that. I heard a lot of talk about Marincin not being an NHL defenseman last year from Leafs fans. So I expect him to clear. Vegas has waived Calvin Pickard, which leads me to ask the question, how bad was he? How bad was he for Vegas that they said, well, we're an expansion team, we don't like our backup? Grubauer. Grubauer. Just throwing that out there. Grubauer. Anyways, so, anyways. It's just one of those things. It's funny because I like Pickard. I do. But I didn't like him as much as Grubauer, and yet, for some reason, he was taken over, and they took, I know they took Schmidt, and I know Schmidt's a good defenseman, but, all right. It's just, I watch what Vegas is doing, and maybe Pickard's not a very good goaltender. Maybe Pickard clears. I don't think so. I can't see nobody in the NHL wanting Calvin Pickard. It's possible, but if nobody in the NHL wants Calvin Pickard, and he's a really bad goaltender, then Vegas kind of blew it on the expansion draft there, too. Because Colorado didn't pay them anything to take Pickard, and they took Pickard over a bunch of other guys who were available who would have been upgrades in that case. So it's kind of funny because I've been a fan of Calvin Pickard for a long time, and I've always thought that he was going to make his mark, and I thought he played well for Colorado last year in front of a defense that was poor and a team that had just given up. He played well for Team Canada at the World Championships, which doesn't necessarily mean a lot. I mean, Corey Hirsch definitely played well internationally, but his NHL career was iffy. And so, that international hockey is nice and everything, but it doesn't necessarily indicate that you're looking at a star player. But I really thought Pickard would get his shot, so I'm not sure where Pickard's landing spot is. I'd be very surprised if he cleared. Very, very surprised. I'm just not sure who would take him. Now, Bernier's out. It's possible Colorado could take him. But Bernier being on waivers, Pickard being on waivers means George McPhee called around after he picked up Malcolm Subban. And NHL teams said, we're not interested. Nope. So, again, this is a sign that Pickard's value, there isn't one. Or at the very least, it's one that teams are only willing to bank on if they're picking him up on waivers. And I know people are going to say, what about the Canucks? Nah, the Canucks have Nelson and Markstrom. I'm not, they're both backups, sure. But if Pickard's been this bad that an expansion team says, nah, we're good, that's bad. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody takes him. It'll be interesting to see if there's any team in the NHL that looks at their backup and says, Pickard's an upgrade over what we have. But it's another example of Vegas doing things in a baffling manner. Like, this is why Shipachev, Theodore, and Tuck were sent to the minors. Because Vegas didn't want to waive anybody. So they send these guys to the minors to buy themselves some time. And now, here we are. They have to waive Pickard, and they're going to have to waive somebody else. That's the other part of this. Did George McPhee call GMs, and did the GM say, geez, George, love to help you, but no. Because McPhee going up to expansion kind of played it off. The word was, and the feeling was one of that he may have rubbed some GMs the wrong way with the way the whole expansion went down. And maybe those GMs don't want to deal with him. Say, for instance, I'm trying to think of a goalie where Pickard would be an upgrade. If Calgary looked at Lack and they looked at Pickard, they might have got a phone call from McPhee and said, you know what, nah, we're not giving anybody up. Yeah, he might be an upgrade over Lack. We're not interested. Whereas if it was a call coming in from almost any other GM, they might have said, oh, we'll think about it. It's a tricky situation because, again, any team that picks up Pickard then has to waive another goalie, except for Colorado if Bernier's hurt for a while or however long he's hurt. Like, for instance, would he be an upgrade over Hutton in St. Louis? Would he be an upgrade over McElhinney in Toronto? I don't think so, because McElhinney's a pure backup. So, it's an interesting situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you watched Vegas games that Pickard was in the preseason, I didn't see any. The one game I went and watched, it was Dylan Ferguson in net, and he played pretty well. And I know, they're obviously not going to get rid of Marc-Andre Fleury, the face of their franchise in their expansion season. So was there anything in particular with Pickard, or is there something I'm missing with him? Is there something in Colorado that maybe he had friction with certain teammates? Is there something with him that could be leading to him being the one getting waived in favor of Malcolm Subban? That's the part that really gets me. Like, okay, they're going with Subban as their backup and getting rid of Pickard. How bad is Pickard? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.